Hi everyone, this is Varun Khanna. I'm based out of Chicago area in United States, and I've been living in United States for almost 20 years. My baldness and my issues with hair fall started about 6-7 years ago. Living in United States, we pretty much take hot shower every morning. I think that possibly added to my baldness. I do have a history of baldness in my family. My dad lost his hair, but again, I think he started losing a lot of hair at around 50-year mark. So I was really concerned about my hair fall because obviously it makes you look a lot older versus having full set of hair. So I've done my research. I have looked around, different medications, different therapies outside of a hair transplant prior to making a decision on going down this route. And luckily for me, I was planning to make a trip to India last year, 2023, after almost 4 years because of COVID and all that was going on. So I came down to India, and I was talking to my mom and dad about, my interest in getting a hair transplant done. Obviously, me being based out of Roorkee, Haridwar was never top of my mind that I can get a hair transplant done in Haridwar. But I came across QHT Regrow, which was recommended to us by a family friend. And then I started doing my own research, as all of us do. Moment we get to know about something, we try, put it on Google, read about it, read the reviews. Luckily, I came across the YouTube videos from QHT Regrow, went through maybe 20-30 of those. And to tell you guys the truth, I was concerned because Haridwar again is not known for hair transplant, right? It's a holy city, and I grew up in Roorkee, so I know, I was pleasantly surprised. Moment I walked in for my appointment here at QHT Regrow, all the staff here is really professional. They treat you really well. They answer all your questions, and they do it with a smile on their face. I think that goes a long way, right? And then I was introduced to the doctor here. Talking to him, I have lived outside of India. I've been to several countries. You can figure out that the doctor is really experienced, and he has done it several hundred times. So that gave me a boost. I was very comfortable moving forward with QHT Regrow. And I was that comfortable that I made a decision within a couple of hours that I'm gonna have my transplant surgery start from tomorrow, right? Moment I met the doctor. I did ask them, what is the recovery process, how much of a pain it's going to be during the surgery and post-surgery. The staff and the doctors and the nurses, they all explained it really well. And I was pretty comfortable because, it is a surgery, right? End of the day, it's not like you walk in, get a procedure done, and you are in and out. It's not like that, right? Depending on your baldness and the grafts you need to cover your baldness. Starting from there, I would say that, moment my surgery started, I actually did not felt any single bit of pain. Obviously, when the anesthesia goes down, you do feel little bit of pinch, but it's not that bad, right? And even after post surgery, my pain was not that bad at all. I had literally, I would say, really minor swelling, because I have seen some folks who have gone through hair transplant surgery and their forehead and eyes have ballooned up. In my case, especially, and obviously QHT Regrow videos that I have seen, I have not seen anybody having that bad of a swelling. And my recovery was pretty good as well. I did add a little bit of itch, but I think that's expected coming out of the surgery. All the instructions that were shared by the doctor and the staff here at QHT Regrow really helped me out. And good thing is that, you can WhatsApp message, right? And you can call the front desk. They will connect you to the nurse and the medical staff to address your concerns, right? Which I think stands out comparing to any other clinics I have been. Obviously, when you talk about, me living in United States for almost 20 years now, I know how much red tape we have in United States around the medical processes. They let you go through a queue, have you wait for a certain amount of time before you can actually connect to the nurse and get an answer to whatever concerns you have. Here at QHC, the turnaround time was great. Again, I was blown away by the professionalism here. And one thing that a lot of people would doubt about, which, again, I grew up in India, so I know how things work, right? One thing that was on back of my mind is, how clean the environment here is and how much of a precaution everybody from the staff who's doing my surgery is taking. And I was very convinced, looking around, obviously peeking here and there on how things work here. So it was really satisfying, and overall, most of my concerns were addressed really well. Post surgery, I did had to sleep in a certain manner for a week, and I followed up regularly with QHT staff. QHT staff followed up with me as well as to how I am feeling. I think that was nice for them to proactively reach out to me, obviously. And post that, I did got up. So kind of switching gears a little bit, right? Because I was supposed to leave for Chicago within a month's time period. I did got my first PRP done even before my hair transplant, and then I used a prescribed medicine for almost a year now, right? It's almost completing 1 year of my surgery, and I'm here for my second PRP. My growth has been pretty awesome. All my family, friends, everybody compliments my hair now, which is great, right? Because for last 5 or 6 years, I was on the verge of getting completely bald from the front of my head, and I would say crown area as well. So it's pretty awesome. I have been religiously taking all the prescribed medication, the oil, and some other pills, which has been great. I haven't felt any side effects as well, because some people have talked about, there are different myths about, oh, if you get a hair transplant, you get certain diseases, you end up getting into some sort of situation. But I am a testimonial of that those are all myth. Obviously your doctor, they do your blood checkups and everything, and they see if you are a candidate for it. It's not like they'll make you walk through something and they want to just sell you idea of getting hair transplant. Shedding phase was okay too. I did lose hair during the shedding phase, and but I wasn't stressed about it. I think stress is the key, obviously, as we all know, in getting good set of hair, whether you have gone through hair transplant or if you have real set of hair. So I didn't stress a lot on the shedding part of things, because obviously I have seen a lot of videos and I've talked to the doctor. It's expected to lose hair. I really start seeing a lot of growth, I would say the 90-day mark of my hair transplant, where I could visibly tell the difference, where I was pre-surgery, pre-hair transplant versus post-hair transplant. I got I would say from 90-day onwards to 6 month, like 120-day mark, I think I had a great set of hair, and it was literally like the first time I got a formal haircut at a barber shop, because before that I was concerned, obviously, when you are getting a hair transplant, whether I should show up at the barber shop and get the haircut done. So I was just managing my side locks and everything at home. And then at 6 month mark, when I went for the haircut, I mean, I literally have a huge dense set of hair where I got the hair transplant done. And even in the backside where my donor area was, it was pretty much healed up. Like nobody could even tell that I've gotten the surgery done from a prospect of seeing any visible marks or anything. It looks as good as my original hair. It's kind of funny. I'll tell you the story also. When I was coming to India from Chicago last year, I haven't even met QHT people. I met somebody who's based out of New Delhi, and he was telling me about QHT regrow. But because of COVID reason and some blockades, like people could not cross the states, he had to choose somebody in NCR region. And moment I saw this individual, I could tell the way his hair were transplanted, there were literally visible gaps. So I'm like, dude, if I get the hair transplant, then I don't want people to, moment they see me, to figure out, well, Varun has done his hair transplant. So I was like, I did ask him, after that was my first time meeting him, right? So I could not just throw that question or a curveball at him that, hey, did you get your hair transplant done? No. So it's a 15-hour flight, and we got into the conversation. Obviously my kids were up pretty much most of the duration. So slowly, when we eased into these conversations, I did ask him, right, he was telling me, oh, I got my hair transplant. I was supposed to go to QHT, but I ended up doing an NCR. And I did question him, like, why do you have these gaps? Because I could visibly tell that you have transplanted hair on the temple area. So he helped me a lot too from answering some of my questions, and he was like, go for QHT, they are the best. And me coming here, talking to the staff, it kind of sealed the deal for me. And I think down the road I'm here and I'm really happy with the results. And I definitely recommended my cousin who flew in from United States. He lives in Charlotte, North Carolina. Last year, I think it was November, he got his hair transplant in. And then I have a friend of mine who's coming down next week for his hair transplant. So go for it. All right, so as far as the hair transplant is done, I got the transplant done in my crown area, the middle area, and the frontal area. So pretty much this was all, I would say, really weak, where people can call me a bald guy because of that, right? So I got about 5,800 grafts done through QHT Technique. And I was convinced that I want to do QHT because the way it was explained to me by the doctors here, that it's like they have techs on the go, and they kind of taking the hair out from the donor area, and without spending a lot of time or keeping it on their desk or plate, transplanting it directly. So that keeps, I guess, all the necessary elements of a hair intact, because the process is done in a quite quick manner, as QHT stands for, right? So I think that was pretty good. As far as my surgery, it's been almost a year. My growth has been awesome. Like, I get compliments from people, and I did not talk about my surgery to my colleagues who are obviously from Chicago and United States, and they asked me what I have done to my hair in last 1 year or so. So I take it as a positive compliment. I'm really happy with the results. So no regrets. Go for it. It doesn't hurt you. I mean, it does hurt a little bit, but that's part of our surgery. You have pain medication management. You have everything that you could ask for. As a grown man, I think I would say the intensity of pain is probably 0.5 in my case. So I would say don't sit back. It gives you, I guess, 10 years of your age back from my perspective. So I'll take it. And I think finance and investment is all obviously one of the important factor when you choose your hair transplant procedure, because you do have to invest some money. But I think comparatively, based on the results that I have seen on the different videos and testimonials, what I have heard from other people, I think everything was awesome from a pricing perspective, financial perspective, and obviously from the results perspective, it worked out really well. Like, this was my donor area, right? Primarily, this is your donor area when you go through the hair transplant, and I can't tell. I keep looking at it myself as well to see if it is visibly different from what it used to be before the hair transplant surgery, but I couldn't tell anything. So overall, it's a great procedure. Again, not too expensive. Pain management is good, and again, I would highly recommend to get it done. There is no point holding on to it or waiting for you to get completely bald, because you don't want to get completely bald and then opt for hair transplant. That will possibly, in a way that people will remember it, you have got the hair transplant done. So even if you're midway, I think there are different surgeries and recommendations, and doctor can recommend you, but they'll tell you what's right to do at what time. So I would say go for it again. All right, thanks QHT. You guys rock, and I'm really happy. So I really appreciate everything that you guys have done, from doctors to medical staff to
हेलो फ्रेंड्स, अगर आपने अभी तक हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो प्लीज इस वीडियो को लाइक कीजिए, शेयर कीजिए और हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए। और ध्यान रहे बेल आइकन दबाना ना भूलें, जिससे हमारे हर वीडियो का अपडेट आपको समय समय पर मिलता रहेगा।